Hi guys. Yo. Hi guys. Coach speaking. The owner of Forex broker Killer. Welcome. Welcome to the continuation of my story. Beyond the charts, the story of Kgopotso, Mmutlane. So this is part 2. Basically, this is part 2. Remember, I started on part 0 initially. Part 0, it was from 1995 when I was born till 2009. And then part 1, it was from 2010 till 2013. And then part 2 is today. It's what's happening right now, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna be continuing. Remember, if you missed other parts, you can find them on my timeline. They are there. So last I ended things around about 2013, and doing just a recap from 2013. What happened in a nutshell was that I got heartbroken for the first time. I was heartbroken for the first time, and school-wise, I actually failed. I actually failed my first year at university. Now that simply means that slowly my dreams were initially getting crushed. They were getting crushed very, very. So starting from 2014 now, remember what I'm telling you has nothing to do with coach as yet. Coach will be starting later around 2017, but this is Kgopotso. Therefore, I want you guys to connect with me from the roots. Don't get fooled by the lifestyle you see on my timeline, the affordability and so forth. Don't get fooled. There is a lot of pain beyond or behind, I would say, so don't just get hooked by the nice lifestyle that you see, because I believe it's best to understand and say somebody is your role model because you understand where they come from. There's nothing inspiring about chess boys, trust me. So from 2014, I changed my course. I was doing local government finance before, and then I switched to economics now, economic management analysis in Kgopotso TUT. Therefore, I told myself that, you know what, I'm going to give this new course my best shot, given the fact that the previous year I've actually failed. I've actually failed. And at that time, I was not as proud as I am right now, Now, Vela, I started 2014. I was doing economics. When it comes to attending, I've only attended like for the first week. Then second week, that thing, New Year resolutions. I've made New Year resolutions. I was like, God, I'm going to do my best this time. That was 2014. I'm going to make sure that I pass university and so forth. But here's the thing with New Year resolutions. You write them down, you plan them, but a week won't pass before your real colors come out again. Your real colors, they have to come out again. Now, I only attended, or I hear people complaining about the volume. Sorry about that. I'm trying to fix the volume here. I hope you can now hear me clearly. I hope you can now hear me clearly. Can you guys hear me? Because I hear people complaining about my sound or my volume. Okay, yeah, the volume is fine. So vele, I started vele. I went to school properly, like maybe for a week or so. Then after second week, I was back to my original behavior. My original behavior was not wanting to go to school, you know. That was just me, you know. And I told myself that, you know what, since I'm not interested in going to school anymore, even though I have to do this, not just for myself, but for my parents as well, I'll do my best, you know. But at the same time, I've had this passion, this burning desire that I want to be a DJ. I want to be a DJ so bad, but people, I mean, my parents, they don't support the decision and so forth, you know. So it's fine. I was like, let me push on being a DJ. Let me push on being a DJ. Just maybe I can actually make it in the music industry. Just maybe I can actually make it in the music industry. You know, now going to school, I met this guy in 2014. I met this guy. He was a DJ as well, you know, and he has been in TUT since 2011. I went to TUT in 2013. So he has been to TUT 2 years before me, right? And 2011, he failed. 2012, he failed. 2013, when I went there, he failed. I also failed. Now, that was 2014. It was his fourth year university, but it was my second year university. So I met this guy, you know. So this guy was into a lot of things. He was into a lot of things. Anything which was naughty, he was there. However, I hanged around with him. He showed me a couple of things, you know, in the music industry in terms of production. That's when I started focusing on FL Studio, Resin, which is basically music making softwares, I would say, you know. So he taught me so many of these things, how to make a beat, how to do that. So I started focusing more on music now. And remember, a human body can only have 100% attention, right? Now, the moment you put attention on something else, then you start losing focus, right? So I put my attention, like 50% of my attention on music. Therefore, that simply means that I'm actually left with the other 50% for school. And so forth, most of my attention went to music rather than school itself, you know. And the reason why I'm this honest is because I want you guys to understand that at some point, the life that I'm living now, I had to make choices, you know. I was failing because I made a choice to fail. Because if you are studying, I mean, like on the real, if you're studying the way you are supposed to study, you are supposed to pass. You understand? So I made choices. That's why I was failing, like from time to time. Now I pushed. So this guy, hanging out with him, I noticed that, okay, this guy is into girls. Like, he loves girls so much, right? And girls love him back, which is a good thing, right? And now at that time, I'm actually healing from the heartbreak which I experienced in 2013. I'm still not ready emotionally to be in a relationship. Not to even mention financially, I was never ready to be in a relationship, you know. So I noticed that he's into girls and all that, and he's trying to show me how to impress girls and all that, but I'm not really interested in that. And then hanging out with him as well, I noticed that he was into drugs at that time, you know. He was into drugs, like actual drugs, you know. Because at first, when he had the package, I actually thought it was just a random powder, but apparently it was drugs. But I never asked him about it until we lost touch, you know. And the reason why we lost touch was because I didn't want to end up in that industry, you know. What I'm trying to teach you guys is that you will have temptations along the way as you meet people and so forth. And at that time, I was going through a lot, and I was just scared for myself that if I go through a lot, I might end up going into drugs and all those things. Keep in mind, ever since I was born, I've never drank alcohol, and I'm not telling you this for you to believe. You don't have to believe me, it's fine. Like I said, you can believe whatever that makes you sleep at night, but that's just a fact. I've never drank alcohol. I've never smoked hardly. I've never smoked cigarette or anything of that nature. So I distanced myself because I saw, no, this is a wrong company. Even though I'm gonna learn a lot in music, but this is a wrong company. So I went solo. I kept on pushing music. When it's time to attend classes, I will be in my room pushing music, using YouTube and all that. So 2014, I released an album. Now, here's the thing with people, right? Here's the thing with people. People never take you serious until you are actually a somebody in life. That's shout out to Kim Monada in the building. People can never take you serious unless you have something which could keep them interested. I don't know, So I made my first album, and after I made my first album, it was about 14 tracks, I think. I sent the album to so many record labels, because music was supposed to be my biggest breakthrough, apparently, at that time, the way I actually planned my things, Now, I sent my album to a couple of guys that I knew personally, And from that moment onwards, I noticed people who know you personally don't owe to take you to the next level in life, You owe yourself to take yourself in the next level in life. What I'm trying to say is that I've been rejected. I've sent my album to a couple of guys whom I thought, because they know so much in the industry, they will show me the ropes, They would show me the ropes and all that. But nah, they didn't even bother downloading my album. So what I did at that time, I only had social media. I only had Facebook as my social media, So I was pushing my album on Facebook, the account that I was using at that time. So I was pushing, and then when I would post, I would get like 5 downloads. And 5 downloads, 3 of the downloads out of the 5, they come from me. I downloaded my own stuff just so I could increase numbers. And that simply means that 2 people actually downloaded my album, And it was so frustrating that I actually didn't know what to do. School is not working, music is not working, and so forth, And when I'm reading about success and all that on the internet, I've noticed people only engage with you when there is something that they can benefit from. Meaning that if you present yourself to people as a nobody will take you serious, Successful people don't really help poor people, honestly speaking. That's just the real truth. And I've learned that. And you can't really blame successful people for not helping you, because each and every person has their own story. Lena, I was denied opportunities before, so you can't really hold me responsible now for me not helping you when you need help. You understand? So it's life. That's just life. That's just how it is. And 2014, still in 2014, around June, there was time for me to write exams. The time for me to write exams came, and I did write, but I didn't study, because I was busy working on my second album now. Second album. Kore, the first album didn't put my spirit down. I just kept on pushing. I was working on my second album. So what I did was I just randomly downloaded vocals from the internet, American vocals, then put them on my songs without their approval and all that. But it was not a problem for as long as I was not selling the music. So what those vocalists didn't want is for you to put their vocals and sell them, sell your stuff with their vocals on. That's when it was going to be a problem. So it was okay for me to use them because I was not selling them. They were free basically. So I kept on pushing, making my second album, Second album, I released it in 2014 as well. Second album, And problem is that the sad part about it now is that I can't really connect back to what I was doing back then because I initially lost everything, but I'll get to that part. So I was working on my second album. Vele, I released it as well. Now the second album, I've noticed that people only download if there are many downloads. So what I did on my second album was that I posted it on data file host, and then I clicked download, right? Then I refreshed. Then I found out immediately after I clicked download, it will write one download, like one person downloaded it. Then I'll click download again, and then it will say 2 people downloaded it. Click download, 3 people, but it's still me. And what I did, I was just clicking download. Then when I refresh, it says 100 people downloaded. But I knew in my heart that it's not real people. It's just a computer. When you click download, it sends a request that it's downloading, even though it's not really downloaded. So I was clicking download until I got to 1,000. So that simply means that 1,000 people downloaded my album, but it was not real people. I was just hustling. And some would say it's fake it till you make it. But not personally, it's hustling. It's hustling. I did what I had to do, Now I took my downloads to 10,000 downloads. Now, after taking them to 10,000 downloads by clicking on my own, imagine clicking on one link 10,000 times. Then after, a person will come now and say, and talk nonsense about your success. They have no idea what you have to go through alone. That's the funny part. You go through these things alone. So I released my album with 10,000 downloads. It was not real downloads. So when I released, I told people, Coach Kerry, vatsena mahala when I check. King, beat these people, man. People are not supposed to enter for free here. Beat them. Yeah, so I posted my album. So after posting it, when people saw it has over 10,000 downloads, they started downloading. So I think I got about 100 downloads, like real downloads this time, real downloads, because they've seen 10,000. So 100 people didn't mind downloading because they've seen 10,000 downloads. You understand? Therefore, if the downloads were 0, 100 people wouldn't have downloaded the song. So I was like, oh, so this is how it works. So basically, people have to see you taking yourself somewhere before they can actually support you. I'm like, oh, okay. Let the games begin. I will play the game. Now, school-wise, I was lacking big time. And remember, this is like my second course and still nothing. So I've had a platform to actually get a new girlfriend. There was this girl that I used to like a lot, but she was into music as well. She was showing me some of the things. We were close, So every time I'm supposed to make a move on her, I would think about the future. I'm like, what if we don't work and we end up not talking and all that? So I put her in the friend zone, You know, putting somebody that you like in the friend zone. You are gonna go through that in the future. There's gonna be somebody that you like, that you wanna date, but sometimes dating them is not worth it. Meaning that you can ruin so many things. You know, especially if you know that you have a cold heart. So at that time, I had a cold heart. You know, I was just not ready. Now, that's 2014. I released 2 albums in 1 year. They are unknown. Those albums are unknown. At least the second album, 100 real people downloaded them. At least that's something, you know. Now, towards the end of the year, now I was supposed to write my exams. And basically I didn't qualify. You know, at varsity, you need to qualify to write exams. So I didn't qualify to write all my exams. Out of 5 subjects, I only qualified to write about 3. 2 of them automatically I didn't qualify, meaning that I failed, right? So I only wrote 3 exams. And then out of the 3 that I wrote, I actually failed all of them. So that simply means that 2014, I've actually failed everything. Everything that I was doing in that course, I failed it. Ne? Now my parents, my father is a pastor. I come from a Christian family. Even though that's not the reason why I'm not drinking alcohol or smoking. That's just a personal decision that I had to make. It has nothing to do with what my parents are or whether I come from a Christian family or not. So my parents, they understood that the first year, the reason why I failed was because the course that I was doing was a second choice. So I told them that this time I will pass because this is like the course that I've always wanted from the start, you know. Now, 2014, my parents want results. Varsity results. I had 2 options, people, you know. Remember, there's a difference between lying and hustling. You must understand the details. I did not lie. I was hustling. So they asked for my results. You know, my parents asked for my results in 2014 year end. And I told mom that I actually passed. I passed everything, you know. Now, they want my results. Remember, when you come from a black family, especially in Limpopo, they give you instructions that you are going to Gauteng to get the qualification and come back. You're not going there to play. If you mess this chance up, you are coming home for good. That's like, I remember the warning very well. So I've lied to my parents because I knew if I tell them that I failed, second year I failed everything, I will no longer go to varsity anymore. So I was like, okay, Plani, Oledi, I actually passed. But my results are a bit delayed. So you'll get them early 2015. So she believed me. She had no choice, you know. And during December, when we were partying, you know, December spirit and all that, now I was actually calculating how the hell will I fake my results? How the hell will I fake my results? So now I was like, you know what? I will see that in 2015. So 2014 passed. I was still not in a relationship at that time. Now remember, my success came because of what we call love. If it was not the relationship that I was in, I don't think I would have had it in me to push beyond my limits. So I think you need to get hurt in life in order to actually finally become successful. It's not going to be the case for everyone, but that was the case for me. Now, 2015, Vele, beginning of the year. So what I did, I actually I went to varsity and then I came back. I went back home. So meaning that early January, after New Year, I went to varsity and then I went back home. So I told my mom that there are forms that I need to sign and so forth, right? That was early 2015, January. Kanti, the reality of the matter is that TUT has officially excluded me, right? So I found the email that Kgopotso Mmutlane, student number what 213 what. You have been officially excluded from studying at Tshwane University of Technology for a period of 2 years. In case you don't know what that means, it simply means that TUT has chased me away. Therefore, I was supposed to take a break for about 2 years before I can even apply to study anything. That simply means that I've told my parents that I've passed everything and I will give them the results. But reality of the matter was that I actually got chased out of the university. So how the hell will I have access to the university to fake results or pretend as if I'm still studying where else? The university chased me away. It was a fucked up situation. It was a fucked up situation. And I think God brings these things to us, such things, such challenges, in order to train us, to train us to be much more stronger. I had to be stronger. Imagine now I'm in deep shit. I can't sit with my parents down and say, Mom, Dad, the university has chased me. One more important detail that I forgot. In 2014, I was actually studying with NSFAS. 2013, I didn't have NSFAS. Now, 2014, I had NSFAS. I was studying with NSFAS the whole year. So, NSFAS paid my fees for the previous year in a way when they approved me. So, they paid fees for 2013 and 2014. Now, I actually got 2 exclusions. The first exclusion was from the varsity. The second one was NSFAS. Coach Bekitela is here. Can I take him to the VIP? Yes, Kim Monada, take Bekitela to the VIP. VVIP actually. VVIP, not just VIP. So yeah, I got chased 2 times. NSFAS and the university. Now, it's fine. 2015, I came to varsity. Now, when I came to varsity, I made contact with that friend of mine. That friend of mine that I cut because of the kind of lifestyle he was living. I contacted him and then I explained to him, here's the situation. I lied to my parents that I passed where else I failed. And then second thing, the university has chased me. NSFAS has chased me. So basically now I'm a hobo. I'm homeless. Nchaka, what do I do in this situation? He said, Fanam, you have nothing to worry about. Ever since I came to TT in 2011, I've been getting chased every year. It's small waters. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yes. So I'm like, how do we work around that? He's like, first things first, there's what we call appeal. Like when the university chase you, you can actually appeal. So that they can take you back. I'm like, okay. So he explained to me the process. But he said, you need proof. So that the university can take you back. You need concrete proof as to why you were failing. And I'm like, okay, fine, we'll deal with that. But now emergency, because I have to go back home. My parents are waiting for results. That guy showed me things that I've never seen before. He gave me this document. It's results. Someone else's results. Where they write student number and names, it was empty. The only thing I had to do was to write my student number and my name and then print. So I wrote my student number and my name and then I printed the document, And then I went back home again before I could appeal. And then when I was home, I showed my parents the results, When I was showing them, my father is that type of a man who doesn't believe what I tell him. It's like he can see this boy thinks he's smart. So when he was reviewing the results, I was like, oh God, this man, it's like he's working with Jesus Christ, and right now I'm doing Satan's work. If he catches me, I'm dead. After viewing my results, my father he has shaken my hands. He's like, son, I'm proud of you. Imagine, guys, your father is saying, I'm proud of you, and whatever that he has seen is a fucking lie. It was a lie. I'm like, my heart was paining at that time. I'm like, why am I doing this? God, why am I doing this? Why don't I just tell them the truth? But then again, I would think about the bigger picture. If I tell them the truth, Somar, that would be the last time I see Pretoria. So I have to maintain that lie. I have to keep going. Now, keep in mind, I did not have any hope that things would turn good for me. I was just like, no, whatever that used to come, it was fine. So I went back to varsity, and then I fetched the forms to appeal. Now, on the forms to appeal, you need to explain why you have failed. So I've thought about it. I'm like, okay, sharp. Now I need to explain why I've failed. Remember, on part 1, I explained that my father worked in a mine for like 20 years, and then he got retrenched. And then when they retrenched him, the full package that they gave him was less than 50,000, probably around 30-something thousand. And that's just the system, how it is. So there were letters that they were giving him to show that he got retrenched. That one. So what I did, I was like, okay, a reason why I was failing. So I wrote it on the form that, you know what, people, you need to understand that the reason why I failed was because the breadwinner from my family got retrenched from work. My father got retrenched from work, and there was no way I could focus. So I didn't have food anymore. So I gave these reasons, and then now when it was time to attach the proof, now I was forced to go back home again. I went back home again. Now, when I went back home again, my mom asked me, why am I back? I told her that no, university is going to be starting a bit late. So I'm here for like a week because it's empty there. Now, when they went to work, when my mother went to work and my father was out, I went through their documents. And then I found those letters whereby he got retrenched. I went on to the internet cafe and I made copies. I made copies of the letter. Now I went back home. It was fine. Then when it was time to go back to the varsity, I went back and then I submitted the appeal form. The appeal form was perfect. It shows that the reason why I failed was because my father got retrenched, and there was actually proof that he got retrenched. Therefore, my performance had to be affected, right? Guys, this is not lying. This is called hustling. You must understand. It's called hustling. It's not lying. It's only lying when you have nothing to benefit out of this. But if you have something to benefit, then it's hustling. It is what it is. We all have to do what we have to do, Now, I've submitted the appeal. They said that we must wait for about a week or 2 before the results come out. So I've waited for like 2 weeks, and then the results came out. And then I went to the campus to look for the results, and I saw my student number there. My student number was there, like I was taken back to the varsity. And keep in mind, this is like 2015, right? And just so I can make you guys understand, do not do what I was doing. Do not do what I was doing. It's very, very risky. Coach, I'm sorry for disturbing, but Polani just arrived. Yeah, please, Munada, please take Polani to the VVIP as well. He's one of our important guests, and then give him cranberry juice. Don't give him alcohol. You know him. He loves alcohol so much. Don't give him alcohol as yet. So I was taken back, and then I saw that, okay, sharp, the university has taken me back. Now I had to think about my future. I'm like, now 2015, this is third year in varsity, but still doing first year. So meaning that I'm failing. Now, do I need to continue with this, or Somara must just give up? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not giving up. Instead, I will make it as a DJ or as a musician. I will make it dark or blue.